Hi dear friends, and today we will talk about fakes about tea, some misinformation. My name is Sergey, I'm a founder of Milky, and I'm sitting in Georgia. We're here for producing of our Georgian tea. But now I'm drinking Jiangxi Molly. It's jasmine tea from Jiangxi province from China. Actually about fakes, what is the most important? Regarding what we talk about, not only about tea, but any information need to be checked because we have so big amount of information all around. Let me say something what still round by round are in tea fields, you can hear it, and from time to time people still believe in very strange facts about tea. First of all, let me say the cleanness of the tea. This is a topic I work in for last years pretty intensively. As soon as I started developing our company in Europe, and we're working on the most strict regulatory wise, most strict market for any food is actually Europe, which is good for us and good for consumer because all the food need to fit European regulations, which is much stronger than Japanese or American or any other. So this is why we check all the tea, we check our suppliers, and we can say for sure that the tea can be clean even from regions that before everyone heard like, okay, all Chinese tea is polluted, all tea from that region is polluted. That's not true. Polluted tea exists everywhere, the same like good tea exists everywhere. More broadly say, all geographical kind of status quo now is not working anymore. We know like, yeah, many people think like natural tea must be from this region, or a regional good green tea must be only from that country. That's also wrong. So yeah, we're now producing tea here with Chinese technologists in Georgia, and we have absolutely fascinating tea which really tastes as same as oolong. Really, oolong processing can make tea really close to oolong bushes, even if you don't have oolong cultivar. So that's a fact that you can geographically say you can produce tea. Okay, here we can produce tea in Thailand or Vietnam or Laos or Africa or India or whatever, any other country. I am focused for sure on China, Japan, Vietnam, Laos, Georgia, Thailand. That for me is enough. But I don't say that tea from other countries are bad. You can try whatever you want, but for me it's just enough. Geography and some status quo or some statements about this country is bad in terms of quality or cleanness, that's just wrong. Yeah, so you just can take the tea, take it to the lab, check it out, check the soil, and you will be sure. Actually, I was really surprised that so much now it's really become even trendy. Mainly China has so much of completely fully organic producers, which is active for at least 15-20 years. So that's a lot, and just they are not on the upper surface, and they are sometimes they are more expensive, sometimes they are more affordable, but the main thing they're existing, and it's a lot. So we just need to check the tea, like this Jiangxi Molly. We also check in lab, and we see it's clean. That's it. Tea brands. It also exists in niche tea market, in let me say specialty tea market. Good example can be Lao-Banjan tea. The tea from very famous village, which many people know, many people drink this tea. They think that they drink real tea often, but it's not real, because they see it everywhere. Lao-Banjan you can buy any online platform, any online marketplace from China, let it be Taobao, AliExpress, whatever, like Pinduoduo or any other. And you can also buy it offline everywhere. And it can cost from, okay, 15 yuan to a few thousand yuan. And it can have the same name and even same packaging. And actually it also refers to many other types of tea, not only Lao-Banjan. It can be Bindao village, pu-erh, it can just be like Tiguanin loose leaf tea. It can be any other variety of tea. So the name and the packaging actually means nothing in China. Yep. By Chinese mentality, we can say mostly about China, this fact that if you buy this, it means your level of knowledge deserve this product. And this is just different approach. Many people say, oh yeah, Chinese are selling fakes to me. No, it's not Chinese selling fakes to you. It's just your level of knowledge not enough to understand that there is no opportunity to buy tea for 15 yuan or for 20 yuan from famous village, which is very limited. That's it. So try what you buy, drink it. How Chinese say, "Hala Daula." I drank it and I understood it. And after that, you can be sure about something. It's the best then your vendor, your producer, your supplier has the story behind the product. You know where it was bought, how it was produced. This is why I'm spending so much. Yeah, like this year I was now It's June and I spent already 2.5 months in China, also here in Georgia, also I was in Laos, also I will go to Thailand. That's important to be on a spot of production. That's important to control what you buy. That's important to know something about technology. That's even not something, preferably. That's important to check everything, to make tests for the soil, for the tea, for everything, even if you know supplier. Sometimes I do it from time to time even with those suppliers who have everything. I'm still do my tests. Just go to the lab. That's we go talking about their quality, and just drink tea and compare the quality. If you talk about organoleptic, like flavor profile, taste, fragrances, all the aroma, everything. Other part is about, let me say, approach to brewing of the tea. Oh yeah, that's special, because there are so many thoughts and statements and kind of dogmatic knowledges about tea. Like, we need to make it only ceremonial way. If you use just a pu-erh, like a bottle, or grandpa style, like a cup with the leaves, you're not a part of our mindful community. Or, you use it, all of these vessels, it's such a snobby approach, I can just brew it in a bottle and that's okay. So both approaches I actually don't like, because the snobby approach, like if you not accept everyone who do it differently, actually I'm more close to this. I never use grandpa style, sorry, but I only have this. But I never say something about those who didn't. It's their choice, right? But the thing is that as soon as you can do good brewing and the tea is wonderful and you enjoy the atmosphere and tea gives you actually the best out of it, you have it. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need to have any kind of dogmatic approach. I know I need to keep hand like that, or I need to keep guy wine like this, or you need to have the lid or not, or you need to have the same pitcher or different, or whatever cups you use, or whatever tea tray you use or don't use, whatever. It's all the game. The same, sorry to say, and I know many people will oppose that, about isin teapots. Oh, I need to have a special clay. Only these isin teapots will open up my pu-erh tea. And if the let me say the walls of isin teapots a little bit thicker than I need, the tea will be not perfect. And I need to use all the 100 pots I have, each teapot for certain type of tea, or for certain. That's for sure a game, guys. Yes, it can be like that. Yes, sometimes you can see the differences. Yes, for sure, porous clay is important, but don't go so hard. Actually, you can brew it, you can be more attentive to brewing, you can feel that, but it's not such an important thing. You can brew perfect tea just in one teapot, all the teas you have. That's possible. Yes, possible. I can tell you for sure, because I'm traveling a lot and I have thousands of pots and I brewed thousands of different teas all the time for my 20 years in tea experience, and I can say it's great. If I brew this jasmine tea not in guy wine but just in a isin clay pot, it will be same great jasmine tea. A little bit more bitter. I can use cooler water. I can play with the parameters, because we have the amount of tea we use, the thicker vessel or thinner vessel, what kind of vessel we use, how long the exposition, what temperature of water, what kind of water, the hardness of water, is mineral water or not, and so on. So as soon as I know the parameters, I can control my brewing and I can make perfect brew with any teaware in any tea if I want. Yes, but I love it because of aesthetics and because of my, let me say, sacrifice to the culture. I love to use it. I just love the cups, and mostly it's about aesthetics and not about like I only open it perfect in this vessel. So that's my personal thing. You don't need to share it, but it's my opinion. Like, if you going too hard into certain ways of brewing and you try to push others and say it's wrong if you brew it differently, that's also, I can say, misinformation. The age of tea. Many people know, okay, so if I have the 10 years aged pu-erh, it means it's great, but if it's young, it's bad. Many people already know that it's not like this, because the most important, what you can say about not only pu-erh tea, but any tea, is a material, way of production, with soil, is it clean or not? That's it. So as soon as you have tea which is 30 years old, but it was from big massive production plantation, then they use DDT that years, and it's not clean and it's just a very flat taste, who cares it's 30 years old? But if you have a perfect tea from ancient trees which was produced last year, that's great tea. Why you don't drink it? So many collectors I know from Taiwan, from Malaysia, from mainland China, from Europe, from whatever country, they actually more focused on material from ancient trees, from old trees, because if you talk about pu-erh, the same about other varieties, is more important what kind of material and what kind of technology you implement on your tea than the age of this tea. But I love aged tea, and if I can find clean aged tea, that's impressive. That's really rare that I can find. I have like, okay, Meizhang tea from 2009, which I really love a lot, and this is, I would test it in a lab, and it's clean, and that's wonderful. And yeah, I really love this approach, and I really happy that I can have this tea. But it's really rare. You can find old and same time clean tea. And actually, old tea can be aged. People know about pu-erh, people know about oolong, but actually green tea, lao lui cha, white tea, lao bai cha, oolong, huang cha, yellow tea, hei cha, any tea can be aged. Just there are different, let me say, methods of aging. There are different methods of storage. There are different methods of approaching to that, and you need to search for certain notes in profile of the tea depending on the type. So that's it. There are no rules in terms of like you can have only aged this or that variety. The Milky oolong, wow, such a fragrant, aromatic, like creamy tea, and many people still believe that it's natural. Man, they think that we use some milk and like spraying milk on tea. Actually, it comes because of the name Jinshuan. Jinshuan is fiery flower, something like this, or golden flower. Actually, it will be more correct translation. Milky oolong, it's Naixian, means in Chinese is milky aroma, and actually it's just you take artificial flavoring and put it on Jinshuan variety. That's it. And many others in China also use like just old tiguanyin, any other lighter oolongs. Just spray this aromatized stuff, these are artificial aromatizer, and that's it, and the tea is ready. So yeah, if you want something natural, just drink tiguanyin, just drink dundin, just drink Jinshuan, just drink many other lighter oolongs from Taiwan, from mainland China, from Vietnam, from any other country, and you will have it. But it will be not so intense for sure, because original Jinshuan, the golden flower, this aroma is not so intense. So there are no natural milky oolong. I just describe it in quite more detailed in one post. If you want, just leave a comment. I can share you this more details actually if you want to know, because I can't name all the details in such a short video. Next fact is about kind of if tea is lighter, it means it's not so strong. That's wrong. The ferments which transforms during the fermentation of tea actually decrease the amount of caffeine, decrease the other compounds, if you change to some other compounds, but still they can say that green tea, white tea, yellow tea, it's light, and also shen pu-erh, raw pu-erh, they're all very intense, they're all very energizing. Now I drink green tea and you see how energized am I. Yeah? There are no relation between the color of the tea soup and actually the amount of caffeine. You can't see caffeine, it's transparent, it's invisible. The price of the tea. Sometimes expensive tea are great and cheaper tea are bad, but it can be other way around, because it all depends on marketing, it all depends on knowledge of your vendor, it all depends on how transparent their sourcing is, and so on. Yeah, for me the cost performance is the key. So if I know some tea is rare, maybe it can be more expensive, or it's more difficult in production, or there are some other factors why it can be a little bit more expensive than others, but still it's not a factor. We can have very simple teas which is quite expensive just because they are rare, and people like them because I have it because I love this taste. But I try not to source the teas if they're expensive just because of Milky, how we can say, part of a name. People say like this tea is very famous in China, this is why they are expensive. The good example actually Laobanzhan tea or some other famous villages. We can have less famous villages with also ancient trees, and these teas can be wonderful. Just you can check it, you just need to try it try it, compare it, and you know. For me it's a good comparison, actually tea from Yunde, from ancient trees, which is great, and they are much cheaper than famous regions in Bindao and Laobanzhan, and they are, I think, much more relevant in terms of cost performance. The size of the factory, such a common thing. like a farmer tea. Farmer tea is great and a big industrial production is bad. Completely wrong. Sometimes farmer tea is great, sometimes farmer tea is bad. And I can say why farmer tea can be bad. We know why it can be good, because okay, it's craft sourcing, you can control more, you can make very small batches, you can take more care about tea and so on and so on. But why it can be bad? For example, the quality control, the investment in tests, the investments in soil, the investments in technology sometimes are very difficult for small producers. Also, the constancy in quality also can be difficult. And this is why I mostly work with kind of medium-sized producers. They're not so big to industrialize everything and create ilusian, how they call in Chinese, like a production, like a line production. Then you have multiple machines connected all together, and you don't control. It's not good for most of the teas actually. Sometimes it costs efficiency and you can have cheaper tea from these factories, but that's not the thing for us. Still mostly work with small or medium-sized producers, because they can afford same time the quality control, they can afford good technology, they can have different material, but still they're not so big to make like cheaper commodity level product. Also, actually, the expiration date on tea. Oh yeah, that's the biggest fake actually. As soon as you store the tea in proper conditions, it can be expired only if you put it in high humidity, only if you store it not correct. For example, if it's just sealed back like this, and it's not affected by direct sunlight, by a lower temperature, which can create condensate inside the bag. It's not affected by certain very, let me say, conditions with very high humidity, then can small hole in the back can just also affect the tea inside. It's a vacuumly packed, can be stored whatever time. Because I have a tea which is produced in end of 19th century, and I drank this tea, and the tea is great. That's it, because it was stored properly in dry conditions without other smell, without other like direct sunlight, good ventilation, and so on. That's it, and room temperature. That's all you need for good tea. And maybe last fake, which still also sometimes circle in tea rounds, let me say, with tea which is prohibited for export from China. Actually, you can export any tea from China as soon as you can afford it and as soon as you can find it, because some teas are very expensive and you can find them, they're just rare, like yellow teas. Many of them very rare, and especially in real yellow teas, not just something which is cold yellow tea. That's it. You just need to afford it, you just need to invest some time to search it. But there are no official ban for exporting of any teas. There's some official ban for exporting antique teaware, for example, or something which is really officially not allowed. But it's not about tea at all. Maybe you have some questions below. I really appreciate your any comment, any feedback. Please leave us some comments. Maybe you know some story, or you curious about some topic about fakes around tea and so on. I will be very thankful for that, and appreciate your time spent with me. And thanks for like, share, subscribe the channel, and yeah, let me do something else. And maybe you can leave some comment below with your feedback and some idea I can talk more, and some questions I can reply in next videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you. Drink good tea. Peace, love, unity, respect.